if you're going to pull me in with a space helmet and some starry sky, then give me something that is to do with that. Very, very weird. Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly, also known as RowRow and Kades, and this is a knitting and designing podcast based in the northeast of England, where I share everything I've been knitting on and working on over the last 2 weeks. And this is episode 48. So the last month I've really been focusing purely on the MKAL, and that's why there wasn't a podcast episode 2 weeks ago, or however many weeks it was due, because I was just vlogging the MKAL and I wasn't really working that much on anything else, so I didn't see the point in doing one of these in between, because it was literally be of the same thing. I have been doing other things, but just not a lot. So I don't have a massive amount to show you today, because you've pretty much, if you've been watching the MKAL vlog, you've pretty much seen what I've been working on. But I will share that today, and I will share the other little bits and bobs. We'll start off with what I'm wearing before we get into the nitty gritty. So this is I've got my poppy on today because it's Remembrance Sunday at the weekend. Get it the right way around, Kelly. This is my Sarkle jumper, which is by Davies. You can see the yoke. It's got a really stunning yoke pattern. It's knitted in a DK weight yarn. This is a Hobbii yarn that was gifted to me from Hobbii, but I cannot remember what the yarn is called. I know it's something with tweed in. It has these like little blue speckles and dark speckles of tweed. Do you know, I absolutely love this jumper. It's kind of the one that I just grab and throw on. It's just really lightweight, whether that's the yarn or, well, it's obviously the yarn, but I mean whether it's the weight of the yarn, like being DK, or whether it's just the actual particular yarn that's just so lightweight. I can't remember what's in it, obviously, because I can't remember the yarn. I will write it all on the screen. But it's just really lightweight and lovely, and it's nice and warming, and it's just one of these, ooh, you know, that kind of jumper. It is knitted bottom up, and I know a lot of people don't like that, and I don't know whether I would rush to do that again. But I do absolutely love this jumper. I would probably make this jumper again. And I don't say that lightly, because I don't knit the same thing twice very often. I would need to find some extra time in the day to knit it again. But yeah, I really like it. I highly recommend this pattern. It is the only Kate Davies pattern I can ever remember knitting. Whether I've knitted one years ago, I don't think I have. But I really liked it. It's a really nice fit. It's like kind of loose and just comfy and lovely, and it keeps me warm, and that's all you want, isn't it? I'm not choking with it or anything. It's just a nice, lovely fit. So yes, I highly recommend Sarkle by Kate Davies. So let's crack on with what I've been working on, which isn't a lot. It is. There's one big massive shawl sitting in a bag, but other than that, it's not a lot. So I will start with the shawl, I think. Should I start with the shawl? You've probably already seen it. I haven't done any more since I finished the vlog, purely because I needed a break, and I'm really near the end, but I just needed to have a little step back. So here we are now. It is, if you haven't seen the MKAL already and you've been living under a rock for the last month, there was a hell of a lot of drama with this MKAL. I'm not going to go into detail now. You can go back and watch my vlogs if you're really interested in what happened. But basically there was a whole load of drama with the central square, and then the rest of the pattern was the most boring thing I think I've knitted in a very long time. This section and this section, and you have to do it again on the opposite side, here and here. I don't want to lose these stitches. And then clue 4 is this beautiful, it's called a dip stitch. It kind of looks a little bit like entrelac, but it's not. When I first seen it I thought it was entrelac. But it's this really interesting technique of basically stabbing your needle in and looping yarn across. So you can see that I have done the 4th colour, and then you knit 4 rows in stocking stitch, and then you dip over the top of the stocking stitch in the next colour. So I need to do a colour A, the lightest one down here, across there. And I'm not sure how thick I'm going to do this. Some people have doubled it, some people have shrunk that. I'm not sure. I'm going to keep doing it until I'm ready to stop. Oh, it's raining outside. So, which is why I've took a break, because I'm ready for the next dip 5 row, and it takes a while to do those rows. And I'm just taking a little step back. Just for a bit. I will get this finished. Although it was an extremely boring knit, I really do like the finished item. And mine is, I've got a lot of alpaca in mine, so it's really like cozy and lovely, and I can't wait to get it blocked and get it, well, I hate blocking, but I can't wait to get it finished and on me, be able to wear it. I do wear a red coat though, so it's going to be a bit clashy, but I also have a grey coat, so I could maybe wear that instead with this. If you haven't watched, I do apologise because I've had a bit of a run-in with something dodgy, and I haven't been well for a week, and I've got this horrible tickly cough, banging headache, all the rest of it. If you didn't watch my vlogs, the main issue with this was that Stephen West, he constantly gets you to cut the yarn every time you change colour instead of carrying it up the sides. There was ends for days and days. Normally I would just leave my ends until the end, but this time around I couldn't. I decided to weave them in as I went, not like as I was knitting. I did do that, but like actually finish them off. So I did clue 1 and then I weaved the ends in before starting clue 2. I did clue 2 and then I did clue 3 and then weaved the ends in on both of them before starting clue 4, because I just knew that I wouldn't continue if I looked at the back of that. It would never get finished. It was insane, and why he's got you to do that is beyond me. I really don't understand. I do have a few issues with this MKAL this year. For one, he advertised it with a space helmet on and it was all like galactical, and I can't see anything spacey in this. I don't understand that. He also said about having colours transitioning and like a gradient of colours, and there's really no need. It could have been any 4 colours at all. Like, there's a few things that he said and I'm like, why have you said that? I don't really truly understand what happened this year. Obviously as well, a lot of all the ends, the cutting, there was no need for that. I think that was basically because once you started it, you couldn't go back and knit something else because your yarn was in that many bits. that it would have been disastrous to pull it out and do something else with it. So you kind of had to get to the end. But yeah, there's just a few things that I was disgruntled about, shall we say. But all that said, the shawl at the end is beautiful, and it also doesn't mean that I won't do next year's, because I know I get serious FOMO with the MKAL, fear of missing out, and I also do enjoy everybody's knitting the same thing, and I don't know what this is going to look like, and I'm knitting something and I don't know if I'm doing it right, or I do really enjoy all that aspect of it. And yeah, it is a risk, but I do like that about it. So I'm not saying I'm never going to do another MKAL, because I know what I'm like. And yeah, I purely admit to that. But this year, I feel like some things were very lax when it came to the MKAL. I think the space helmet and everything else was a bit of a promotional ploy, like to pull people in, like me, who I really like anything sci-fi. I'm really into like space and all of that. I find it fascinating, and if you stick a space helmet on your head and have some stars behind you, I'm like, ooh, what's going on there? And then like for it to just be like some stripes, I'm like, hang on. Not that I expected to knit a rocket or anything, but just make it have some stars on it or something. I don't even mean Fair Isle stars or anything. I just mean like there's patterns out there that look like stars, shapes and stuff. Just give me something. If you're gonna pull me in with a space helmet and some starry sky, then give me something that is to do with that. Very, very weird. It's kind of like they designed a shawl and then just plucked a theme out the sky, literally, and went, yeah, let's just do that. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to rant about the MKAL anymore, because I'm sure you're sick of hearing it. And also, I've got a vlog. And also, you'll hear about it a bit more when I actually finish the blooming thing. I'm just going to lean past you. My forehead. So, I'm drinking today Bird and Blend tea. It is the Baby Bird. I think it's called Baby Bird. It's supposed to be a bit like a cream egg. I don't like cream eggs, but it's supposed to be a bit like a cream egg. I suppose it is a little bit, but in a nice way. I'm just using up my tea. So, it's gone cold, lovely. While I was working on the MKAL, those of you who know me know that on a Friday night I have an alcoholic drink with my partner and we watch something on the telly. It's like our date night thing, but we just stay in, and sometimes we go out, very rare. We stay in, I'll sit and knit, we'll have a drink, and we watch something, and no, it's nothing to do with him. I cannot knit anything too like involved when I'm having a drink, because it's alcohol, right? And you can't have a drink and, yeah, you know where I'm going. We can't knit something super complicated when we're a little bit sozzled. It just doesn't quite work. I mean, you can, but the next day you might be regretting it. So I was not knitting on the MKAL on a Friday night. So I was knitting my son's Incy Wincy cardigan, which I will pop a picture up here of what the Incy Wincy cardigan actually looks like. It is a lovely Halloween design by Jane Burns, my lovely friend, who I work with on the EweKnitty podcast. If you haven't been over there, go and check that out. So I will show you how far I got. and then I will explain what has happened. So yes, I did say this is a Halloween jumper, but my son, he's 7, he loves Halloween. It's his absolute favourite. So he didn't care when he got it. He just wants the cardigan. He'll wear it all year round. It's not like a Halloween-y thing for him. So I wasn't like, although I was like trying to get it done for Halloween, it wasn't, I knew it wasn't quite going to happen because the MKAL was so grueling at points. So this always blows out this colour, and it's actually like a deep rust, but on screen it's going to look like, orange. It's going to look glaring, but it's not. Woo! That was more orange than I thought it was going to be. It is like a really deep rust. It's not this bright. I'm so sorry. I will try and put a picture up on the screen of what the colour actually looks like, because that's ridiculous. It's just not, it really doesn't glow in the dark or burn your eyes. Anyway, this is how far I got. So I've finished the body and I've done one sleeve, and I started doing the second sleeve. It's basically just a top-down raglan cardigan that you do, and then obviously you put the embellishments on of the spider and the pocket. And he's also asked me to get spider buttons, which I did. I'll pop a picture of them up. I got all these things, and you know, I've got the black yarn ready to do the spider, and I'm all ready. I got sew-on googly eyes, like I was prepared. And then I looked at this and I was like, looks a little bit small. Yeah, wait until you get to near the end before you realise this, Kelly. So I got him to try it on, and the lengths and everything is perfect, but it is skin tight. The sleeve, he could barely get his arm through the end, and around this part it was just, he was in it, but he was not gonna, that was not gonna last a month. So I've left it all together to show you guys how far I'd got, so you could share in my misery, because it's gonna come out. It's gonna have to be frogged. Now I have a concern, because I said to him, Rowan his name is, in case you're new here, because there's a lot of new people. Hello. I said to him when he tried it on, I said, right, look, it's not going to fit. I can do like a bigger size. There's a bigger size. This is the 8 to 9 size and he's 7. My gauge is very slightly out though. So I'm going to do this is 8 to 9, so 10 to 11 I'm going to do. And just stick to my lengths, and then it'll fit him for a bit. I said to him, look, I'm going to pull it out and we're going to go again. Do you want me to go again? Like, do you want me to knit this again? And he went, no, because it's too itchy. So I said, you will have a t-shirt underneath and things. Like, you really wanted it. I've bought extra yarn because I'd bought extra anyway because I only had this left. It's so bright. I only had this one left. Are you gonna be the correct colour if I come closer? Kind of. So I'd bought 2 balls because I was like, I've got a sleeve to do and all the button bands and this and a pocket. So I bought an extra 2 balls. So I'm hoping that the extra 2 balls is enough to do 11 to 10. I'll probably end up buying more, knowing my luck. But I had got these extra 2 and I was like, right, are you going to wear it? And he was like, And then I was like, look, you'll have a t-shirt underneath, but I'm not going to do all this work on it if you're not going to wear it. And he went, all right then, yeah, I'll wear it. So I'm a bit like, will he wear it? Will he wear it? I've bought spider buttons, I've got spider eyes, I've got all these things, and I'm like, are you going to wear it? Oh, honestly. So, I will share the yarn with you anyway. And I'll show you that big lump of yarn later, but this is all knitted in Drops Lima. I didn't share what the yarn was for my MKAL, did I? But you probably know if you've watched the MKAL video. It's also Drops. I did it on proper budget yarn because I wasn't going to spend a fortune on an MKAL, just in case. Sorry. So anyway, this is what I am doing the cardigan. This is Drops Lima. Drops, it's the, is it DK? I want to say it's DK. Yeah, it's 4mm needles. It is 65% wool and 35% alpaca. So it's got that tiny, it's really tiny halo. It's got slight, it's more like got long hair sticking out of it, if I'm honest with you. It is really not this bright. It's the Rust Mix colourway, and it honestly, it's like a dark rust. It's a beautiful colour. It is not that. Orange is his favourite colour, and also the cardigan was in orange when I first seen it, and I was just like, yeah, that looks good. So I have to rip it all out and start again, and I'm a tiny bit reluctant because I've got a feeling he's just not going to wear it. But I don't know. I don't know. You can never tell, can you? He's 7. So I will keep you posted on that front. So since the MKAL, I've worked on 2 things. Both of them because I have to for the EweKnitty podcast, but also because I wanted to. Oh, I said that's gone cold, didn't I? And it's really cold now. So the first thing I was working on, I really wanted to do a sock. So the first thing I started working on is I've got yarn to review from Skein and the Stitch, which is her new plush sock base. I cannot remember the mix off the top of my head. No, I'm going to put it on the screen of what it is. She sent me the notebook colourway. I'm sorry everything's blowing out. I don't know where the light's coming from. So she sent me the notebook colourway. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And when I first got the yarn, I was like, well, it just feels like all her other yarn, because I've used Jess's yarn a lot. However, once I started knitting with it, I could really tell the difference. It's absolutely stunning. I knitted a taupe sock, and I like this stitch pattern, the linen stitch pattern, so I just slapped this on the top. So it's kind of, I don't know how much you can see, but it's like a slip stitch pattern. So these are taupe. They have a stocking stitch sole. It's a Flegel heel. I did a little, as if it's a heel flap and gusset, but it's actually Flegel heel, and then they're not massively long. And a twisted rib at the cuff, the cuff. I don't know if I'm going to bring this out as a design for 2 reasons. One, when I was putting them on Instagram saying, oh, I've been doing this, lovely, now I always pronounce her name as Jose, and I'm not 100% if that is true, so please let me know if that is not how I pronounce your name, and tell me how I do pronounce your name. But in my mind, it's Jose. She is a viewer of the podcast, and she also chats to me on Instagram sometimes. Lovely, lovely. She messaged me and said, I don't have great eyesight, she said, but your stitch pattern looks like this. And she linked me these, which is a Stephen West pattern. And it is the same stitch pattern. It's a linen stitch pattern. It's a really simple stitch pattern. It's slip stitch. It's like, it's in probably every stitch bible you could buy. it's just one of them. So I looked at them and I was like, here's a cuff down and his linen goes all the way around the sole. Now there's a reason for that, and I'll get to that in a minute, but the linen goes all the way around, and honestly I would not like to stand on that. It's quite a rough pattern because of the slip stitch, and that made me a bit like, ooh, I don't know if I'd like that on my feet. Also is the cuff down, like I said. So I'm not thinking, oh well, I've copied his design, because one, I haven't, and two, mine is slightly different. It's got a stocking stitch sole and it's toe up as well. There's another reason, and it's the reason that his goes all the way around the foot, and that is because the stocking stitch on the sole grows a lot faster height wise than the linen stitch. So you have to counteract that by doing like a short row on the linen. So through this entire foot I was trying to get that short row perfected, and I didn't manage it. I think I might have figured it out right on the last one, but you can't tell because it's at the heel. But what has happened, because I've been doing short rows, can you see it's got little holes going up the side where I've done a short row because they're not meeting properly. So this is an issue that I would have to fix before I thought about releasing it. So obviously I've got to knit another one. So I will knit the other one and see if I can fix that issue. If I don't fix it, they're just socks for me anyway, and I'm not bothered about that hole, but I would not release a pattern with that hole going up the side. It doesn't happen on the other side. So I don't know what that's all about, but it doesn't happen on the other side. The other side is fine. So yeah, but it's just a sock that I knitted because I was reviewing Jess's yarn, which is gorgeous. Go and buy some. But yeah, I will let you know what happens. I don't know if it's getting released. Let me know down below what you think about me releasing a pattern. I always seem to go up against the giants, don't I? My last sock was the same as Sari Norland's, and completely accidentally, I might add. And now it's Stephen West, but like the giant of the giants. But you know, these things happen, and the reason I still went ahead with the Sari Norland one was because I think her sock was in one size and mine was in like 6 or something, and that's a lot of work to just throw away because someone else found that stitch pattern and thought that works nice in a sock just before you did. So so I cracked on, and I did message Sari Norland. There's the whole thing, you can see it on the designing of the Vial of Sand socks vlog. You can see it on there what happened. But I did message her. She was lovely, and we discussed and decided I'm going to release it, and I did. And it does quite well, so there we go. Right, the last final thing I have also been knitting on is another yarn review that I have to do, but also I needed to get in on my current KAL that I'm running, which is the 2 Socksy KAL. Check out the hashtag 2SocsyEK on Instagram. It is a KAL run with Jane Burns from our EweKnitty podcast. There is a lovely prize to win if you finish your socks and tag us in the picture of them. All of that info is on the EweKnitty podcast, but I have started knitting my 2 Socksy socks, not so I can win, because obviously I'm not allowed, but I might pretend that it's somebody else's sock. No, I won't. But I started knitting my 2 Socksy sock, and here it is. So So this sock has like eyelets down the side, it's cuffed down. It has contrasting cuff, heel and toe. It has this decrease going down the middle so that you get your stripes like point in the direction, the opposite direction from the way you're knitting. So if you're knitting cuff, they'll point to the cuff to tell people that you knitted cuff down. And if you do them toe up, they'll point to the toe to tell people that you knitted them toe up. You will have to adapt the pattern to knit them toe up. It's not in the pattern, but just it's an easy one to adapt. I am using King Cole Nord, which is a new sock yarn that they've brought out, and they sent this to me to do a little review on it. So I thought, well, two birds and all of that. So I can't go into massive detail because I'm not reviewing it on this channel. I'm reviewing it on the EweKnitty channel, so you'd have to go over there to see what I think about it. But this is the colour that I was sent. I cannot remember the colour name of it, but I will put it on the screen of what it is. So this is the new sock yarn from King Cole, and there's a lot of different colours. I'll just say it's nice, I like it. My contrasting cuff so far is a yarn I used for my Stephen West shawlography. This is just some that I had left over. Can't remember what this is called either. I'm rubbish today. I'm absolute rubbish. I will put everything on the screen. You will know. You will know. But yeah, I use my dark grey one. I don't know what the actual colour name is. I'm so unprepared today. But yeah, that's as far as I got. I only cast on last night. I cast on during Discord's knit night last night, and this is how far I got. So yeah, 2 Socksy socks. This is knitted on a 2.5mm needle, and it grows really fast. Like I say, that was last night's from 8, because I was on late, so 8 o'clock until 9:30, and then I did a little half hour on it a bit later. So what's that? It's an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then I've probably done 15 minutes on it today. So 2 hours 15 work. I think that's pretty fast, isn't it? Especially when you've got a rib included. So yeah, I will be cracking on with them. And I'm not sure when I'll get back to the other sock yet, but I will get back to it. But that's it, that's all I've been working on. I know it's not a lot, and I've got loads of whips. I'm looking over at all my project bags hanging up. I've got loads and loads of whips that I really need to get on with, and I will. But yeah, I've kind of been, someone said to me, don't burn yourself out on the MKAL, but I kind of did get a little bit burnt out, purely because it bored me and I just didn't want to knit on it, so I didn't want to knit on anything. But I am enjoying them socks, so that's good. And I have bought some yarn, so I am going to show you. So basically, I went online to Wool Warehouse to buy some yarn for Rowan's cardigan, because I needed some more, right? But Wool Warehouse, if you spend, it used to be £25, but now it's 30. So if you spend over £30, you get free delivery. And if you don't get the free delivery, the delivery is pretty much the cost of a ball of yarn. So for me, I'm like, well, I might as well get the free delivery. So I always end up spending over £30. It's stupid, I know. But otherwise, you're like buying balls of yarn that are like £2 and then you're paying £4 for delivery. So your £2 ball of yarn costs you £6. Do you know what I mean? So I might as well get the free delivery. Anyway, makes logical sense to me. Anyway, on my Make 9 this year that I've done absolutely rubbish on. Oh my God, I've done so bad on my Make 9 this year. I think I've done like one thing. On my Make 9, there is the Rococo sweater, which has been on there for a couple of years now. And I have tried to knit it, but I can never find a yarn that I get gauge with and like the material. So I sat and I really, really want to knit that sweater. Like, someone who watched the podcast actually bought me the pattern and everything as like a thank you for doing the podcast ages ago, like really early on. And I don't even know if that lady still watches the podcast, but if she does, she deserves to see me knit that sweater. She bought me the pattern. So I need to do it. So I bought the yarn for it, and I've decided that if I don't get gauge on it, I will work out what size I need to do with the gauge that I've got, because I'm just sick of trying to find the right yarn for it. I've tried 4 or 5 times, I think, and I just can't seem to get the right thing. So I bought Drops Nepal, which I think is an Aran weight. I want to say it's a 5mm needle. This is what's so confusing. The Rococo. Now I'm doing this off the top of my head, but it basically, its gauge is like an Aran weight gauge, but then you're knitting it on a 3.75mm needle, which is a US 5. And I'm like, how does that make any sense? I don't, so it really confuses me. But I'm just gonna pick up some needles and get gauge, and then yeah, I'm just gonna, I don't know why my dog keeps banging. Anyway, I'm rabbiting. I got this Drops Nepal in this stunning purple. I can't remember what it's called. I will put it on the screen like every other colourway I've got. I got a big old bag of it. And oh, you know me, if you've watched me, if you're a regular viewer, yeah, you know me. I don't buy the expensive stuff to knit my own clothes. 1, because I spill my dinner often. 2, because I can't afford it. I can't afford to buy hand-dyed yarn to make a jumper. Yes, I go out to Yarndale and stuff. I save up and I buy loads of yarn. But it's all single skeins. And the reason for that is because I feel like when I do that, it's like a treat. And I feel like if I buy a couple of jumpers worth, I haven't got a treat. Whereas if I've got loads of different colours, that's a treat. I don't know why. It's just how my brain works. It's not very clever. But yeah, so that's what I ended up getting. Oh, so I will be starting the Rococo. I'm not going to say next week or anything. I'll be starting it, but I'm not sure when. But I have the yarn. It will be happening. I also have yarn to do design and everything that I've had for a bit. So like, you know, there's things need to happen. I'm sure I'm not getting 24 hours. I'm sure I'm having less than everybody else, because there just never seems to be enough time to do the things. Like, I can't do all the things. It's annoying. I also got my first ever purchased, what's it called? Advent. My first ever purchased Advent, because Truly Hooked, Wonderful Verity at Truly Hooked, did a 10-gram Advent for £60, and you could also pay for it over 3 payments. So it was like £25 per payment, and then £65, a £15 payment, and that was so doable for me. Amazing. So I got it, whereas Advents are normally just not doable for me. But I did. I got the Truly Hooked. Look at that. How cool is that? So I got the Truly Hooked Advent. It was delivered a couple of days ago. I have opened it, but I haven't opened any of the yarn. I was good. I have opened to see. I couldn't resist. So I pulled on that ribbon. Say, what's in there? And there's sweets and things. but I'm leaving it shut now because I'm going to be a good girl. I also have my Advent has arrived that I've done for the last, this is our 3rd year with Suzanne, who is a viewer. Hello Suzanne, who I've met now at Yarndale, which was lovely to finally meet her. Suzanne and I swap 10 grams. We swap 24 10-gram minis with each other, just like scraps of what we've got left. We swap them, so it's not like, this is a circular fade apparently. It's based on All Things Bright and Beautiful. Her boards were stunning, and it's a circular fade. So it starts at one colour and it'll end at that colour. Whereas Suzanne's is just scraps from things she's been doing that year. So it's not in any, there's no correlation of the yarns. It's just randomised. I've used this, you can have the end of it. Type yarns, and then we stick some other goodies in. So that arrived. It made me laugh because when we first did it 2 years ago, our boxes were like this big, but over the years we've got to know each other because we chat on Instagram and we send each other more and more each time, and this year the box came and it's like this, and I'm like, oh, I haven't done mine yet and I need to get it sorted. Yeah, I've been sorting my desk behind me because it was a big old mess and I couldn't find anything, so I thought I'm going to have to sort that desk so I can sort Suzanne's Advent and some other things that I really need to get done. So yes, I'm going to try and vlog from here from now on, because my front room where I normally sit, one, it's boring, it's just a wall behind me. Well, most places have a wall behind you, but you know what I mean. It's just a bit boring. And also I constantly have the glare on my glasses from the window. Now I still have a bit of glare, but it's not as bad over here. I am in a little area, my back door to go out into my garden is there. My front room is through there, and directly in front of me is my kitchen. But I wanted to try and make this a nice space for me to be able to vlog from and also do some work. Maybe design some patterns from this spot, I don't know. So yes, I think that is all I have to tell you. Yeah, I don't think anything is really going on. There's lots and lots going on over at EweKnitty, so get yourselves over there. We've just done an interview with Kate Heppel, who is the founding editor of Knit Now magazine. She was lots of fun, and she really deep dives into like behind the scenes of what it's like to be running a magazine and things like that. So if you're interested in anything like that, get on over and watch that. And yeah, it's going well over there. We've got lots of interesting things. It's not like this kind of podcast. It's more like like, I think of it as like a magazine. It's kind of like it has little sections of things we're going to tell you about, and it's kind of like it's like we'll show you some new yarn that's coming out. We'll show you a new book that's coming out. We might show you I don't know, we'll tell you some knitty news. We announced about the Future Dreams yarn, which I have a ball kicking around. It's over here. If you don't know about this yet, so the Future Dreams by West Yorkshire Spinners is basically £1 of every ball sold is going to the Future Dreams breast cancer charity, and inside the label is a pattern for a knitted flower and a crocheted flower. There's a pattern for each. And you can do whichever one you want. And then in the spring, West Yorkshire Spinners want everybody to share their flower, and they're doing a big thing. I'm not entirely up on exactly what's going to happen, but it's basically just an awareness for breast cancer and raising money for their charity. This is a DK weight yarn, and it's 100% wool as well, just so you're aware of that. It's not like a sock yarn or anything. However, I am going to use mine for a pair of socks once I've done my flower, because I'm just going to use a contrasting heel and toe for wearability, because I don't think I would use it for anything else. It's not something I would wear as a hat. It's not the colours I would use as a hat. And I don't think I would wear it as a cowl either, but I really do want it as socks, so that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, so there you go. The other thing I need to tell you is that over on EweKnitty, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be interviewing Christine, who is Winwick mum. Winwick. I always call her Winwick. Winwick mum. She is going to be getting interviewed. We're interviewing her on November the 20th. That's the date that we're interviewing her. The interview doesn't go live for a couple of weeks after that. I have to have time to edit it. But if you have any questions for Winwick mum, you can pop them below if you want, but also you can head over to EweKnitty and pop them in there. I'm getting a load of light coming in through my kitchen window because the sun's moving round. I've done this a little bit later than I expected, so I'll sit back here. So yeah, any questions for Winwick mum, yeah, just let me know and I will pass as many on as I possibly can. And that's it, basically. That is everything, I think, that I have to let you know. Can't think of anything else. No. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to everybody who is new. There was a lot of new people come over from the Stephen West MKAL, so it's really lovely to have you here and I really appreciate you sticking around. And yeah, next week I've got an episode with my friend Ange. We're looking through her knitting and her smelly cone, which you will see in the episode. But yes, so that's what's coming up next week, and I will see you in a couple of weeks for the next episode, and hopefully I've got some more stuff to share. Hopefully, eh? But oh, it's near Christmas, isn't it? It's getting there, isn't it? So yeah, right, I'm off. I'm waffling. I will see you in the next one. Have a lovely rest of your day, and yeah, thank you for being with me. Bye.